My name is Jack, and I've been a postcard delivery guy for as long as I can remember. Every day, rain or shine, I traverse the streets of our quaint little town, delivering snippets of joy or news to people's doorsteps. But there's one delivery I'll never forget, one that sent shivers down my spine and made me question everything I thought I knew about the world. It was a gloomy Tuesday afternoon when I received a peculiar package at the post office. The address was barely legible, scrawled in a jagged script that seemed almost ... otherworldly. Ignoring the unease that crept over me, I tucked the package under my arm and set out on my route. As I made my rounds, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Shadows danced at the corners of my vision, and whispers seemed to echo in the empty streets. But I brushed it off as my imagination running wild until I reached the address on the mysterious package. The house stood at the end of a long, winding driveway, shrouded in darkness despite the hour. With each step I took towards the front door, the air grew colder, heavier, suffused with a sense of dread that gripped my heart in a vice-like hold. Summoning all the courage I could muster, I knocked on the door, my knuckles rapping against the wood like a deathly drumbeat. Silence greeted me, broken only by the creak of the door as it swung open, revealing a dimly lit interior. The air inside was thick with the scent of decay, and shadows writhed in the corners of the room like living things. In the center of the foyer sat an ornate wooden table, upon which lay a single postcard, its edges yellowed with age. I approached cautiously, my heart pounding in my chest like a drum. As I reached out to pick up the postcard, a voice whispered in my ear, chilling me to the bone.
"Deliver it."
It hissed, sending shivers racing down my spine. I whirled around, but there was no one there, only darkness stretching into infinity. With trembling hands, I picked up the postcard and read the message scrawled across its surface.
"From beyond the grave, I send my regards."
The words sent a cold chill down my spine, and I stumbled backwards, dropping the postcard to the floor. But before I could flee, a ghostly figure materialized before me, its eyes burning with an otherworldly light.
"You have been chosen."
It intoned, its voice echoing in the empty room.
"Chosen to deliver our message to the living."
With a cry of terror, I turned and fled, the ghostly apparition hot on my heels. I raced through the house, the walls closing in around me like a vice, until finally, mercifully, I burst through the front door and into the blinding light of day. In the days that followed, I couldn't shake the feeling of dread that had settled over me like a suffocating blanket. Every shadow seemed to hold hidden terrors, and every whisper sent shivers racing down my spine. I tried to convince myself that it was just my imagination, that there was no such thing as ghosts or curses, but deep down, I knew the truth. I avoided that part of town like the plague, refusing to even glance in the direction of that accursed house. But try as I might to forget, the memory of that haunting encounter lingered, tormenting me day and night. Then, one fateful evening, as I made my rounds through the town, I came face to face with the very thing I had been trying so desperately to avoid. Standing on the doorstep of a quaint little cottage was a figure shrouded in darkness, its eyes burning with an otherworldly light. My heart stopped in my chest as I realized what was about to happen. With trembling hands, I reached into my bag and pulled out the package, the one I had been dreading delivering ever since that fateful day. I held it out to the ghostly figure, praying that it would be enough to satisfy whatever dark forces had bound me to this cursed task. The figure took the package from my outstretched hands, its ghostly fingers curling around it like claws. For a moment, there was silence, broken only by the sound of my ragged breaths echoing in the still night air. Then, with a bone-chilling wail, the figure vanished into the darkness, leaving me alone once more with the weight of my guilt and fear.